Hi, I'm Linda Snowdoxer. I'm so glad you're all here. And our town manager, Fidel Maltez, has been amazing in helping to organize this. And thank you for coming up. And I'd really like to invite the Clergy Association, Reverend Jamie Michaels, and the Clergy Association to come up and do a welcome to all of you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I'd just like to say that on behalf of the town of Reading, thank you for being here tonight as we celebrate all people of our town. Yay! Thank you.
Welcome all and Chag Sameach. What a joy it is to see so many of you gathered here this evening for this celebration of light. I'm Reverend Jamie Michaels, and it brings me so much gladness to see this symbol of religious diversity and representation here in the center of Reading. I worked with a musician once who used to say, "It's not my song, but I'll sing it with you." For many of you, the lighting the menorah at Hanukkah is your faithful practice. But I also see many of you who are here tonight in solidarity and joy. And I myself am not Jewish, if that's not evident. Also by my Hebrew pronunciation, deep apologies. But I'm so grateful to have been invited this evening into this very personal, faithful moment. Sharing our faith with one another can be a tender and vulnerable experience, but it helps us to know one another more deeply as neighbors. Tonight I want to honor the courage, boldness, and integrity it takes to share the history and the ritual of your faith. It's a holy thing, not just to light these candles, but to share them. Thank you. The way you practice your faith helps me to practice mine. On behalf of the Reading Clergy Association, we are honored to participate in this evening's event, and we also want to extend deep gratitude to the other co-sponsors tonight. So thank you too to the Reading North Reading Chamber of Commerce, to the Reading Rotary Club, to Whitlam Books and Cato, the Coalition of Us, to the Reading Community Singers, and of course to Chabad of the North Shore. Can we have a round of applause? I'm so grateful that Senator Jason Lewis and Representative Rich Haggerty are here this evening. I want to thank you for being here tonight and for supporting all Reading residents, however they welcome the light in the darkness. Peggy Schuker, Acting Regional Director for the Anti-Defamation League, I want to thank you for the honorable work that you and the ADL are doing to protect and promote human and civil rights for all. This is a high, high calling. And this evening, I'm especially grateful to leadership from the staff and elected officials from the town of Reading, especially the Department of Public Works, whose labor we are experiencing the joy of here this evening. To Sudeshna Chatterjee, Director of Equity and Social Justice, Town Manager Fidel Maltez, and Assistant Town Manager Matt Cornulis, and members of the Reading Select Board who are here this evening. And thank you especially to Linda Snowdoxer and all of our volunteers this evening. It's dedicated service to your town and community that keep events like this happening and keep us connected to one another. Tonight's brief program will feature a message from Chabad of North Shore about the story of Hanukkah and the significance of the menorah, not just to this story, but as a symbol of religious freedom. Tali Shore, a recent Reading not so recent anymore, a Reading Public Schools graduate, will reflect on the importance of this gathering and will lead the blessings over the candles. I'm told that there will be dancing after this, and so we'd invite you over to First Congregational Church of Reading, just beyond Town Hall. You can go in the accessible doors to participate in some Israeli line dancing. And through story, song, food, and dance this evening, you are all invited, regardless of your religious background or faith practice, to participate in this evening's program. You'll get instructions about how to do that as the program continues. And if, like me, this tradition is not your own, I encourage you to bring a reverent and open heart and join with the respectful spirit of, "It's not my song, but I'll sing it with you."
Thank you so much. First of all, I just want to say your Hebrew pronunciation, Jamie, is very good. So, once you get past the ch, then you're pretty much, you're like on the freeway already.
So on the topic of singing same songs and different songs, you know, it's like when you talk about food, you get hungry. You talk about singing, you get hungry to sing. So let's sing Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. It's a song. I think it's on your song sheet if you have one. But I got to tell you, there's a lot more people here than we. This is amazing. So this is a song of welcome amongst brothers. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, shalom, shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, shalom, shalom Aleichem. When I say Od Avinu, thank you. Od Avinu Chai. I'd like you to answer me, Od Avinu Chai. When I say Am Yisrael Chai, I'd like you to answer back, Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai means that the Jewish people are still hanging around after all these years. Okay? Am Yisrael Chai. Your turn. You can tell there's a professional choir here. Let's try that again. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. And now a little bit higher, and allow your soul to reach up higher. Am Yisrael Chai. Now no repeating, just all together with our hearts and souls open to one another. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Chai. Clap your hands. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Oh David Chai. Oh David Chai. Oh David. Oh David. Oh David Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Chai. אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד, נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, יא נה נה יא נה 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 נה, יא נה 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 יא נה 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 נה, יא נה נה יא נה 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 נה, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד.
I just wanted to translate that really important song prayer for all of you. What that means is so many thanks that we are all able to gather here together. And we are so grateful you are all here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, we're gathered here really for a historic moment. And when you look back and you recall a historic moment that you were part of, it's always interesting to see what that feels like, especially when it's a historic moment that's filled with joy, that's filled with happiness, and that's filled with togetherness. So I bless you that when you think back on this night, and not just this night, but all nights, that you think on your history with the gladness of your soul and with the joy of being part of First Things and being part of what it means to grow as a community, to grow together soulfully and mindfully. And it's a miracle of connectedness when in the fast-paced world that we live in, where everything is processed quicker than we can think, that we can slow down and find meaningful ways to connect to one another. The Hanukkah Menorah has a beautiful history, and it started out really as a story about a particular group of people and what happened to them. But today, it has become a universal story. It's not a religious story. It's a morally uplifting story. And it started with a band of brothers, the original band of brothers, that, prompted by their holy father, the high priest, Mattathias, they wanted to live in freedom, the freedom to practice their faith openly without persecution. And the Greeks, and it's hard to believe because the Greeks today are so awesome, like they're just dancing and singing the whole time. I just want to be like Greek. But back in the day, we had our differences, I guess. And they didn't want to, you know, like Zorba the Greek, it's like all happiness and whatever. So they didn't want us to practice Judaism, and they made decrees that said, you can't be Jewish. And it started to get really bad, and they desecrated the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, which was a national Jewish catastrophe. And so this small group of people had two options: either roll over and play dead, or come together and do something about it. Now let's face it, they were the underdogs.
They were in the minority. They were overwhelmed by the sheer numbers and the military strength and prowess. And yet, they had one thing. They had one thing. Boy, did they have that. They had grit. They had guts. They had conviction. They had faith. And they had light. And they had so much of it. Not the light that you can, I think it's Elizabeth Kubler-Ross who said that in the sunlight, every person shines beautifully. But in the darkness, light is like a stained glass where the light has to come from within to the outside. And they had that within. And they believed in it. And they fought not with military advantage, but with moral certitude and courage. And they won. They won because they believed. And what did they believe? They believed the same thing that our ancestors in this country, who came over to this New England from the old England, and again, we love the English today, it's all good, mostly, whatever, there was some tension by the World Cup, but I think we're fine now. But then, and it wasn't so long ago, there was not freedom of religion. It's just freedom to do what I tell you, which is not freedom. And so people came to this country, to these shores, to be free, to practice their faith in any way they saw fit, in the ways that resonated with their inner souls. And that's why the story of Hanukkah resonates so powerfully within the culture and freedom story of America. And it's a universal story today that light, the light that you see here, is an extension of the light that exists inside. And that light, once deployed into the world, can conquer vast amounts of darkness. And this light, by the way, is not alone. Look at the friends he has up here. And especially the beautiful blue lights that I know were kindled by the city and town of Reading for Hanukkah. Thank you for that. It's just so beautiful to see the harmony of these colors. So I want to say that each and every one of you that's gathered here today, because of this historic moment, you are the light. Each and every one of you. And I bless you that you continue to share that light with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors, with the people that you get coffee with whoever happens to stumble on your path. Share your light, share your kindness, share your goodness. And the more light we have, the more goodness we put together, and in the aggregate, we've got some good stuff. So it's cold outside, it's dark outside, but we are warm-ish. Like I'm Jewish. I could say that. And it's dark outside, but we have the lights of inside and outside. So at this point, I want to call Tali Shore. The Reading? Hold on a second. Please, I'm gonna get in trouble with Lisa here.
Linda.
Linda.
We are going to switch it around, and the Reading Community Singers are going to share their Hanukkah song with us about the
Hi, we're so happy to see so many of you here, and we're thrilled that we're able to take part of this important event. We're going to be singing a song called the Hanukkah song, We Are Lights. It was written by Stephen Schwartz. You may recognize this name because Stephen Schwartz also wrote the musical Wicked. which is also talking about people coming together.
Good evening. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah. My name is Tali Shore, and I spent the first 18 years of my life here in Reading. So I've been living in Philadelphia for a couple of years for school now, but I come back to visit every so often, a couple times a year, and Reading's always had a very special place in my heart. Growing up, especially in the public schools here, I've always felt like a bit of an outsider. For a number of years, I was the only Jewish kid in my classes, and it always felt a bit lonely, especially around the holiday season. Once, my mom came into my class to teach everyone about the story of Hanukkah, and I felt very special when my classmates were coming up to me and asking me questions about being Jewish. Even with this, it did still feel lonely sometimes. I am so happy now to find out that we got a menorah here in the town commons. And seeing a symbol of my culture honored in Reading is a very special thing. It makes me feel incredibly welcomed and embraced, and I feel like I'm still very much an important part of the community here. It's so beautiful to see everyone out here join together, even though it's so cold. I know. But we're all warmed by the light in our hearts to celebrate the Festival of Lights here. And as Edith Wharton said, there are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Thank you so much for coming out here. I'm so happy to share my tradition with all of you. And happy holidays.
Welcome back.
And I'm going to welcome my mother and say some blessings with me.
If I could ask every child that's here to please come up. Come on, guys. Oh, this is something special. Look at this. Wow. This is so amazing. Guys, what's your name? Awesome. I'm Rabbi Yassi. Nice to meet you all. Go ahead.
Recite and chant the blessings. And anyone who knows them, please join us. We will also translate each blessing right after we chant the blessing. We will be chanting the blessings, so I invite anyone who knows the blessings to please join us. And we will translate the blessings right after we chant each one. There are 3 blessings.
We're almost there. Yep. 1 second. I timed that perfectly. So, is there anyone here that has been in or has served in the military? Please come forward. Please come forward and join our children. No doubt. Please give them a round of applause. The freedoms that we enjoy in this country are exquisite, and it's very easy to take them for granted. If there's one thing that the menorah and the candles and the light remind us, it's to cherish our freedom and to be thankful for it. Thank you for your service, and I promise you can say the blessed stuff.
Okay, I'll yell it. Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy through your commandments and commands us to light the Hanukkah lights.
Amen. Amen.
Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who performed miracles for our ancestors in their days at this season. And we have a final blessing that normally we only say on the first night, but we also say it on any occasion when we have a first time doing something. And this is certainly a first time here in Reading. It's called the Shehecheyanu blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'echeyanu universe for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. And we all say, Amen.
So to light the candles, wonderful. If I could ask, very carefully now because it's a little darker, anyone who's in the Reading town government that is here this evening, we want to thank you for the time and energy that you put in. If you could please come up here and collectively be honored with the lighting of the menorah, we would be very thrilled. So please make your way up here. Don't be shy. Give them a round of applause. Good, let's wait. This Lickner gonna sing us something. No, just kidding. Please accept our gratitude for this, for deepening the connection between us all. And one of you can light the shamash. Round of applause. Thank you so much. Ma'osor Yeshuati Lechana Elishabeya Tikon Betefilati Visham Toda Nizabeya Yetakimabeya Mitzaranabeya Azekmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Azekmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. And now to close it out, Linda. And please, let's give Linda a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Actually, that last song that was just sung is Rock of Ages, and it talks about our gratitude for having faced foes and been victorious through the power of our hearts to have our freedom to practice our religion again, to light the lights. I want to thank the Chabad of the North Shore and Rabbi Yossi Lipsker and his team who have brought over here and who have brought snacks, but I'm really afraid that maybe they're not going to be enough because you're such an amazing crowd. I'd like you all to give yourselves a round of applause for coming out in the cold to be here, to share in our holidays and make us feel so included and welcome. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank our partners again, the Coalition of Us, the Reading North Reading Chamber of Commerce, the Reading Rotary, White Lamb Books, and the Clergy Association,
Thank you for doing that.
and Reading Community Singers. You just added a light to our celebration. Thank you, Beth Mosher and Al Mosher. Thank you all. Thank you to the town. And I'm being reminded that the boxes for the Reading Food Pantry up here, I'd like to thank the Reading Food Pantry for bringing light to so many lives on a regular basis. So if you brought your gifts for the Reading Food Pantry, the boxes are here. If you didn't, please remember that there are boxes in the Stop and Shop and Market Basket, and there's a collection on Wednesdays and maybe Mondays? Wednesdays. So thank you very much for coming. Hag Sameach.
Hag Sameach. We have a